Joining me now for more on the state of the Eurozone economies. Welcome back, Maricruz Magowan. She's an economist and vice president, National Economists Club. Welcome back.
Thank you, Phil.
The last time you were here, which wasn't that long ago, the world was changing already. Europe was getting a little better. The U.S. was getting a little better. Are we still on that same trend? Do you feel a little better about the global economy in Europe?
We are buying bonds. As long as we buy bonds, we are going to have this feeling. The feeling will end once we see that that approach is not working anymore. And Europe is going to follow our steps. As you have heard, Mario Draghi surprised a lot of people when he said he's going to do the same thing, buy bonds and try to get out of the crisis doing that. Now, what are the good news? The good news is trade, and we were talking about that the other day too. The Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, a wonderful idea, because what they are doing is being very aggressive on the one hand in the European Central Bank by buying bonds, by taking care of the weakest economies,
lowering
by
interest rates, for example.
Exactly, lowering the interest rates, relaxing the collaterals, that they are asking for. But on the other hand, they have to spur the economy. They have to get more jobs.
Well, I want to ask you about that, because this cut in interest rates in Europe, that affects the entire Europe.
Yes.
But we know the North and the South are a little bit different. Are we seeing the recovery at the same pace, or are they recovering at a different pace to you?
Unfortunately, it's not going to be at the same pace. This is what happens, because what you have in the south of Europe are labor-intensive economies. And you see in the north and even in the east that they are going more into research, development, service, technology. So when they trade, when there is this economic interaction, you will see that they have very little gains in the south or even some net losses. On the other hand, you see the north that it's taking advantage of that, and some of those benefits go to private companies. So you don't only see this redistribution of welfare, but it's also some net benefits in total that are...
We had a brief discussion about this yesterday, which was the unemployment situation.
Yes.
Even though the numbers show that the economy is getting better, the unemployment numbers are still very, very serious.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you, is that going to be the main challenge for the rest of the year still?
It is going to be, and more than in the rest of the year. I think it will go up to 2014 or even 15. I don't see a strong recovery, not here, not in the European Union. Now, I have a lot of hope with this trade idea, with the transatlantic trade and investment, because what they are doing, they are going beyond the traditional, lowering the tariffs and stuff like that, but they are seeing what is the problem here, bureaucracy and excessive regulations. And that is where the economic benefits are going to come.
I'd like to feel more optimistic about it, but when you start talking about hope, you know, usually you hope when that's usually the last thing you do when everything else doesn't work.
Yes.
The expectation of perhaps a more aggressive ECB, what else can they really do at this point? They're lowering rates, they're being aggressive, you heard all the right things.
That's what they are doing. They are doing that area, the monetary policy, but they are doing the fiscal policy, and then they are going into trade. They are practically, literally doing everything they can do.
What if it's not enough? I mean, what if the unemployment rate doesn't start coming down?
It is not going to have, I think, the results that everybody expects, but I think it's going to be an improvement, because this idea is going to generate jobs, and that's what you want. Okay. In both sides, not only in the European Union, but also in the United States.
A little hope and a little silver lining.
Yes, I think so.
All right, Maricruz Magowan, thank you very much for your input. And with that silver lining, we send it up to New York City.